Welcome to TMOF Wrestling. This is episode 3 now. Episode 3.
Yeah, Revenge of the... Is it Revenge of the Sith?
It is Revenge of the Sith, yeah. Don't know, it's Star Wars.
I couldn't remember if it was Revenge of the Sith or...
Episode 3 of the tier list. We are ranking every WWE video game licensed, to our knowledge, WWE video game ever made. And we're putting them all into tier lists. Ash, what are the categories?
Right, so our number one category is Best in the World.
Best in the world. Looking miles, what do I say?
Here comes the
Can
money.
we do that on YouTube?
Probably, because we're just singing.
Just singing. I made that song up.
Here comes the money. So basically that means like it's the best of the best of
What's
the best.
It's called Best in the World.
Of the best of the best of the best of the best.
No, what's next?
B plus player.
B plus player. It's good.
It is good, but not the best.
No. Then we got, was it glass ceiling?
Yes.
Glass ceiling. Hard to break the glass ceiling, but a lot of them are they've been finding their way there, as you can see right now.
Then it is... What?
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 What? What?
Which... How to describe what?
It's just not good, but it's not the worst.
No.
Because the worst needs to be deleted.
Yeah, it's delete him.
Delete him! That is the category. So, we've done 20 already.
Yes.
We said we were going to sort of play around with the order of the list. We've just not done it. We just don't want to. It's going to be too difficult to try and put them all in like order of what we like more than the other. They've just got to go into categories now because it's going to get real busy because we've got another 10 coming now. So,
And there's a shed load of good and bad stuff to be talking about. So let's get started.
yeah, this is going to be a bit of a mixture, I think, this one. Last one we saw a lot of glass ceiling, but you can go and find episodes 1 and 2 right here on YouTube.
Yes.
What are we starting with today?
Oh, it's WrestleMania 21.
Ooh, WrestleMania 21.
Become a legend.
Become a legend. That wasn't even the tagline for WrestleMania 21.
What was the tagline 21?
WrestleMania goes Hollywood, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Everyone did their sort of...
Oh, yeah. Like
I quite liked those promos, with the...
Undertaker as Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Booker
That
T
was
and,
nice.
Was it Eddie Guerrero doing Pulp
Eugene
Fiction?
as Forrest Gump, which I don't know if you get away with that now, really,
No.
but it was quite entertaining, but...
And obviously the one they can't show is Benoit and Jericho, Christian. With,
Yeah.
Was it?
I think Basic Instinct, wasn't
Basic
it?
Instinct with Stacey Keebler.
Yeah.
And then Mae Young and Tom Smith got involved, but...
I think that probably tells you all you need to know about this one. We would rather talk about WrestleMania 21, the show, or at least the vignettes for the show, promos for the show, but not talk about the game. This is not a memorable game, is it?
I don't think I ever played it, but I might have done. But I might be confusing it with like Day of Reckoning because the Xbox ones are. Would you say the Xbox ones are near enough identical?
I just think the Xbox ones didn't do well. I don't think it was nice that there was that mixture because I think we missed that now because it's just in terms of console wrestling games, especially if it's just WWE, it's just the 2K series. That's all you get now. Or at least back then, you'd have the SmackDown series, you'd have the Xbox then tried with the Raw series and these WrestleManias. The GameCube was trying with obviously Day of Reckoning, and you had more for the handhelds.
Yeah.
So good or bad, at least there was variety, and I think we do miss that. But
and to give this credit, it is THQ.
It is THQ. It's still a few years away before, obviously, they'd probably hit like a lower point just in general with the games, where it just got a bit stale. But this one didn't really hit it for me. I've got to be honest. There's nothing memorable about it, but I don't think it is the worst.
It's mixed, very mixed reception. Like you get like the odd 5.5 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 or
yeah.
I
just think, and considering when this was made as well, I mean, this was, what was it, 2005? 4 or 5?
2005. It was released like a month or so after May 21.
So to put into concept, so 2005 is the same year that another game coming up on this list was made.
Yes.
And, Here Comes a Pain's been out at this point. There's been a lot of really good WWE games out, and then this comes out. Based on that alone, I think it goes in what? For me?
Yeah.
It doesn't stack up with the others. I've got no interest in playing it. I just don't think it's very good. Would you agree? Or...
I'd say so, but like I said, I'm not sure if I played it or not. It just doesn't look.
If you're not sure if you played it or not, then it's not a good sign.
No. I mean, to be fair, I didn't have an Xbox when I was younger until a few years ago. But
no, yeah, I know. But it's even... There are some that you can go back to even when you didn't grow up playing them, and you still see just how damn good they were.
Yeah.
Mania 21's not one of them.
No.
What is the next one?
This next one I did play. It's a personal favourite of mine.
A personal favourite? All right.
Because
then.
it was one of the first games I played when I was a kid.
Okay.
Superstars 2, which was on Game Boy, released in 1992. One of the reasons why I love it, and it's a stupid thing, but it's me, was the intro.
Okay, what's the intro?
When it played the music, it had Hogan doing a running drop kick. Until I think IRS.
Hogan is a luchador. He is known as something of a high flyer.
Because it went bow, now, 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 and then just do a drop kick.
So this was... Oh, so we've already put Superstars 1,
yeah,
the Game Boy version, that one into glass ceiling. You've obviously played this one.
Yes.
I've never played this. So the show is yours for this one in terms of where you'd want to put it. But it's another LJN, isn't it?
Yeah, it's...
How many years after the first one was this released?
So this was released in 92. I think Superstars 1 was 91.
So it's only about a year apart. That's pretty common for games at the time.
Yeah.
They would come out very quickly. We said that even obviously with SmackDown 1 and 2 as well. That was the same year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. I wouldn't have thought there would have been much difference in the gameplay because you don't have as much time to like change the...
No, there's not much really. It's just basically punch, kick. You'd get the ability to give headbutts, body slams, stomping them, elbow dropping. Another thing that was funny was every time you went into the top corner, your opponent would walk to the middle of the ring, not try and beat you down.
Okay, so they'd be there like waiting for you to jump on them.
And then you just do like an elbow drop and hit them.
Okay.
And you would, if you run out of energy, you could press like the select button and you get your bar back up to the top. But you had like a tag team, you had a cage match. There's only 6 people though. It's Hogan, Savage, Taker, Sid Justice, Jet Snake, and the Mountie.
That's another product of games of the time.
Yeah.
Rosters are never big. It's not like what it is now, but what are you saying for it? I mean, it sounds like you've got some good memories for this, really, but I feel like nostalgia's going to... But see, nostalgia is like what happened with Attitude.
Yeah.
And we still had to put Attitude in the middle. And I've put a lot of hours into Attitude.
If I'm being honest, it's probably a glass ceiling, but I do love the game personally.
Yeah. Glass ceiling's a safe spot. Nice little safe area. We don't have to worry about the main event. Right, what have we got coming up next? This is an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one, once again, I never played, but WWE Immortals, which is basically Mortal Kombat does wrestling, because it's the same development.
Same, yeah, which is...
what was it called again?
Is it Midway?
NetherRealm Studios.
NetherRealm, yeah. Let's say Midway did this. I did download this once upon a time because it's not really been out all that long, so it was within the last couple of years. I tried playing it, but
it was 2015 it came out. But it's
feels like it wasn't that long. That's 7 years.
You can't play it anymore, don't think.
Oh, you can't play it anymore.
On February 2019, the game was shut down.
Oh wow! Okay, it must have been before. Well, when I was playing it, because I couldn't really get to grips with it, I suppose. Like, but again, I'm not a mobile game. Like, well, I am in terms of like I'll play the very, very basic generic things for mobile because I feel like that's what mobile games need to be. This one though, there was a lot of stuff on there, and it just I feel like it probably would have been better suited for like a PC. I don't know if it was playable for PC.
No,
it might be something to look at. Is it not?
No, just Android and
just
iOS.
Android and iOS. Because there's a lot of different, like, the concept of it was really interesting. Like, they made, like, everybody was quite mythical, and it was like, you know, putting like making the wrestlers genuinely larger than life.
Yeah.
And I quite like the aesthetic of Immortals. That's what sort of drew me to it, to kind of go and have a look at it. But they play so differently to most of the games we're ranking. So
That's true.
I don't know what you'd want to probably do with this one.
Well, like I said, it was not a game I played, but when I'm at my former work, I had a security guard that played it, and it looked fun. And I like Mortal Kombat. I like the Injustice games as well, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So whatever you.
Why did it get shut down? Because I feel like that there's.
I don't think people were playing it, to be honest.
What does that tell you?
It was a free to play.
It was a free to play, which is always a plus.
It might have been because people had. It was like one of those pay to get the better.
Pay to win.
Pay to win.
Oh, it's a shame it hinders it, because I think other than that, it could have probably been B plus, but I think it maybe just has to do glass ceiling.
Yeah, I'd take that.
I don't think it was bad. Like what I played of it, I enjoyed, and the concept again, like I really enjoyed it.
Once again, views of it seem to be pretty good. So, if once again, if someone out there who's watching this video has played it and liked it, tell us.
Yes. Comment below. Let us know. Especially if you were playing it for like a long time as well. I'm a very casual mobile gamer, as I say, so it wasn't the right thing for me, but it did. The idea of it was very good.
Yeah.
But in terms of games that were a bit more different from the usual.
Yeah.
Coming up next.
Right, it's WWE Battleground, 2K Battlegrounds.
2K Battlegrounds. Now,
we did an episode about this.
Yeah, so you can find that wherever you get your podcast from. We did a full review. It was still quite early though. It hadn't been out very long when we'd done the review of this one.
First, second week after it came out. It
was within like a week or two, so it was tricky, and I was having some network issues with it at the time, which it was really annoying.
And after we did that episode, I stopped playing it. So.
I've revisited a few times since, but it's a fun game. But it came about at a really strange time. So obviously there was no 2K21, and with the debacle that was 2K20, they took a year. Well, it ended up being more than a year, didn't it? But they took the time away, and instead of bringing like another one in the series for 2K series, they gave us Battlegrounds,
or as I call it, Shrunken All Stars.
Shrunken All Stars, yeah. Well, that's kind of like what Mayhem looked like, wasn't it? I was looking at Mayhem, but I think, in all fairness, because it's been over a year since we reviewed this.
Yeah, like 18 months.
Yeah, looking back at it, I maintain still that it's a fun game. The problem with it is that, was it necessary?
It's fun, but it's a bit repetitive.
It's repetitive. There's not longevity in it.
No.
So, and is it a cash grab? Yeah, it is. But then aren't most of them cash grabs?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Mario Kart. Mario Kart was a cash grab, and then it ended up doing so well. You know, there are some people that only really play anything Mario related if it's Mario Kart. So,
true.
You know, it can have potential to take off in its own sort of way. But they tried something different here as well.
I admire that.
Yeah, and I'll always, you know, like we said, it doesn't always hit the mark. And as you can see, Legends of WrestleMania hiding there in the delete him. You try something new, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's always good to try something new. But they tried it with NBA as well. Yeah,
it was
Playgrounds, I think, wasn't it? It's called.
It might have been
NBA 2K Playgrounds. So same sort of concept though. The aesthetics are all the same.
There's some good things like it, but it's the only WWE game with Mauro Ranallo as a commentator.
And that's sad.
It is.
That is sad.
But kind of like with 2K22, which we'll probably talk about another time, some of the rosters a bit outdated or weren't. Like Jake the Snake, who's not been WWE for so long, and yet he's been AEW, probably won the game for a year.
I think Jake the Snake's obviously got some sort of, because he's in 2K22.
Yeah. That's weird, isn't it?
It is strange, but I think the thing is, until or unless games, especially with wrestling games, WWE, unless they do something that's just an online and it's just continuously updated. Like what Pez tried with eFootball.
That didn't work.
It's not worked, but until you try something like that where you can continuously update it, you're always going to have this problem. Yeah. Like, it's always going to happen. The roster's always going to go out of date very quickly. But yeah, in terms of where this one actually goes,
I'd say what?
Oh, I think that's harsh, really. If I'm being honest, I think it's another glass ceiling. But what makes you say what?
Well, apart from me goes what, because I don't know if we're going to have enough room for the glass ceiling.
Well, I mean, look, if you can justify it to me, I feel it's really harsh to put that on the same pegging as.
Maybe it's because I haven't played it since we reviewed it on the episode.
They've even taken some of the control systems, like there are similar sort of things here where pressing different buttons for reversals and stuff, like into the actual 2K franchise now. They've learned stuff from it, and I think for that, I think 2K22 has become a better game because of this. I think they would have learned things doing that as well. I just feel there's more good with that game than even if it was a bit of a cash grab.
One thing I'll get credit for is you could throw someone into alligator.
Who doesn't want to throw people into crocodiles? No one. Everyone does. Well, it's glass ceiling it is then. Yeah. All right, what we got coming up next? You're just harsh. You want to put it in what? What?
Well, next is definitely not going glass ceiling.
Oh,
WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I think it goes straight away in Best in the World.
Best in the World. Yeah. It's my personal favourite SmackDown vs. Raw.
Personal favourite.
It's probably if I did a top 3, it's probably in there.
Do you know what? You might be right. I've never really thought about. I've honestly never sat down and just gone through what was my favourite SmackDown vs. Raw game. But it probably is this. I really, really love the first one, and we said in the last episode. I know we're a bit sort of torn on it, and it's different because it follows Here Comes the Pain. But this does introduce GM mode, and There's nothing, I think GM mode is one of those among the gamers and the rest of the community. You either love GM mode or you could care less for it. And that, again, that's absolutely fine because it depends on what you want. And there's always some different things within each game, or at least there should be. There should be enough variety for everybody to enjoy something. But GM mode was like the break that you could take away from actually playing matches out. And actually start looking at it in a different way. And I love that sort of stuff. That kind of like build it yourself and, manage different things. But you still had to do it within, like, it wasn't like universe mode, which is a basic like God mode.
Yeah.
You would have to like look at your finances. You would have to keep an eye on the ratings, and everything that you did meant something.
And especially if someone in your roster said they didn't have a title shot for so long or lost.
Just trying to keep everybody happy, yeah.
Even though sometimes you give someone a title shot, they'll lose and say, I haven't had a title shot in so long.
I know. I loved how random it could be with, like you'd have like Paul London end up winning world titles and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved it. I genuinely, and also the game itself was very good. It did bring in the stamina system, I think. That debuted in this one.
And you had the first time you could do the...
I'm not a fan of the stamina system. I will
not
put
really.
Out there. Like, I think it's outstayed its welcome, because the only, if I was going to say a negative about this game, is that I think SVR06 is kind of the first one that really takes a big step into where they kind of step away from the arcadey kind of play style, and it starts to become more of a simulator.
Well, yeah, you did have, if you did a one-on-one, you'd have a test of strength in the game. You'd have the...
But you know what I mean? Like, you'd be watching it play out more than your... because you're coming along... The controls have obviously changed a lot by this point as well. You're no longer pressing square for reversing anything. You've got different reversal for different types of attacks.
L2 and R2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was this the first game to be online?
It was netplay, but again, that depends on how good your internet was for PlayStation 2
and you could,
back in the day. Because this is a PS2... not exclusive, is it? It was on PSP. The PSP. On the old USD discs.
Yeah.
I don't think you call it USD disc. I think it's just USD. But
because it was possible to have Jake the Snake, who was our PSP exclusive, and cross him over to PlayStation.
Yes, that was... Yeah, I remember that.
But I never did it because I never had both.
Do you remember as well with the PS2 version of this, you got the disc, an extra... We've got it here somewhere, haven't we? We've got the... There was a disc that would come with it. Is it my side or yours?
I
think it might be my side. I think it might be this one here.
I mean, we can look in the camera.
Here we go.
Yeah,
it was the extra... Yeah, that was it. The WrestleMania... History of WrestleMania. 1985 to 1993. And this is where we are now in 2022. I love that. I miss that sort of stuff, man. That's class, isn't it?
PSP did have like some mini games in its own. Like there was a poker game. I think there was a trivia game.
Nice.
But they have Eugene Airplane, where you had to have him do the airplane.
Yeah, that was it. I remember you have to do... I think it was this one. Great Khali versus Mickey James.
That was 2007.
It's 2007. Got them wrong. Got them mixed up. I'll see myself out. Yeah, best in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
No doubt. No doubt. Right. So... We've come along into the series by this point. SmackDown versus Raw is already there. We were talking in the last episode, weren't we, about PlayStation kind of had SmackDown. Xbox were trying different things. And we said earlier on that you're trying different things with the WrestleMania games. But Raw was what they were trying to get off the ground.
Yeah. This is Raw in 2002, not Raw in 1994.
No. It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, it's definitely coming.
So 2002, WWF Raw.
Yes.
This one is...
The first Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, the first Xbox... I mean, who'd have thought that would have become such a big thing in just gaming industry in general?
Well, I say exclusive, it was on PC. The last game to be released under the WWF name until the name changed.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be that or Just Bring It. I think because of... Yeah, it was new for Xbox, but based on the competition that they would have been up against with the SmackDown games, they could have hit this one out of the park a bit more. But I don't think it's a bad game. In terms of... and again, you could get away with having games that weren't quite as good, as weird as that sounds at the time, because there were so many.
Yeah.
Which is... But then from Xbox's point of view, they shouldn't have been like that, because it was an overcrowded market at the time, arguably... they should have been putting something out there that felt different enough that people wanted to pick it up. Because if this had done really well, who knows what would have happened? I
mean, it did get a sequel.
It did get a sequel.
So it did well, but obviously it wasn't the best game in the world.
But I don't think it goes into what though. I'm just a generous person.
I was saying another glass ceiling then.
It's another glass ceiling. We knew this was bound to happen. There was always going to be a lot of glass ceilings. I mean, personally, that's how I feel. I don't know if you think you'd rate that lower. If you would, you've probably had a bit more hands-on experience with Raw 1 than I have. And that's mainly because I've not wanted to go and play it much. So there is an argument for what. But
I think but it's only because it's the first one and it's not the best one. They didn't start off well. Let's just say that. It's not delete them. I'd say it's what, personally.
I do get it. It's just it wasn't a home run, was it? But I don't think it was that bad.
No, but it's not brilliant.
It's not great, no. Well, hopefully we can pick up the positivity with this one. So there was a Raw before Raw existed.
Yeah, this came out in 1994.
1994 Raw is War. So. This was released so it was an Acclaim game, wasn't it?
Yeah, Acclaim. It was Super NES, Genesis, Game Boy, Game Gear, and 32X.
It's not one of the ones you hear people talk about, is it?
No, it's... So... I had this when I was a kid. It's probably the first game console WWE game. There wasn't Game Boy that I ever had.
Do you remember much of it? Like, when you was playing it, do you remember much of it?
Not really. I don't think I played that much.
It is very much... I'm looking at the Genesis version, and it is very... It's a bit of a step up from...
It's basically Superstars 2, but
it
done
looks
differently.
It looks a bit better.
But yeah, more improved, I'd say.
Yeah, it looks a bit cleaner. I see Doink here. This does actually look quite cool. I like when the games have reached this point where you could tell them apart a bit better because you could add just more detail in. And you could, I mean, arguably you could do that, before this, but it's whether or not the games were made like that. But this one, I don't know. It looks cool.
If I'm right, this is probably the first WWE game to feature a woman. Is
that Luna Vachon?
Yeah, Luna.
Yeah.
I might be wrong on that, because she might have been in another game.
She wouldn't have been... Well, Miss Elizabeth has appeared in games before.
Yeah, but she would only be a manager, because I don't think she ever wrestled. I don't think she ever wrestled when she was WWE.
Yeah, but in a video game, you can do what you want, can't you? I mean, it's...
You can do a bit of blow.
The world... That's what you bloody well wants. The world is your oyster in a video game. You can do whatever you want, providing it's RPG.
Here's one. Apparently, there was a match where you could have a 6-1 handicap called Raw Endurance.
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Well, why? This is before achievements and trophies. Don't do that to yourselves. I can't. I can't comment. I've obviously got to put some an opinion in to rank it, but I don't know where I'd put it.
Here's one thing that is a bit surprising. It was the last Macho Man game for 16 years.
Oh wow! What, until he came back in the 2Ks?
Yeah. But that was he was only on the Game Gear roster. I don't think he was on any other one.
Well, there was that whole sort of thing when he moved over to WCW and...
Yeah, but this is bad. This came out, what? The same month, I'd say, before he left.
Yeah, it's going to be super close.
But obviously, this game has been developed before, and...
I think...
It's near enough identical to some games that came before it. But this one probably a bit... Obviously, some games would be a bit different. Some games would be easier, some games would be harder, but I'm not sure.
Glass ceiling?
Possibly glass ceiling.
Glass ceiling's getting crowded, but there's the... What can you do?
Break it.
What can you do?
You can break it.
That is going to break. That glass ceiling is going to break very soon. We're going to have to get them a bit smaller.
I don't know. Yeah,
we've got so many more to go. That's where we're at.
Reception is mixed as well, but there was a positives and positives more than mixed.
Yeah, I think glass ceiling's a safe bet for it. It's a safe bet. Well, speaking of games that didn't really feel that different from some of their predecessors, we come to entry number 28 in series.
Wow, we've done so many so far. It's unbelievable. 2K17.
Here he is, look. Big old Brock. Big Brock Lesnar.
No, you got to do it right. You got Brock.
Brock.
Don't kill us. Don't kill us, Brock. I'm loving you at the moment as we're recording this.
Before he discovered Red Dead Redemption and became a cowboy, he this is kind of like the middle of... Oh, I don't know if you'd say the middle of it or not. It came out around about the time, obviously, Goldberg and Lesnar was a thing. Because Goldberg, this is his first appearance in a WWE game since Here Comes Pain.
Who, Brock?
Goldberg.
Goldberg, yeah, Here Comes Pain was the only one he did in his original run.
Yeah.
Oh, did he do Raw 2?
He's in Raw 2. Well, I should think so. He's on the cover.
Yeah.
He's in Raw 2. But yeah, in terms of, this was his first appearance back since then.
Yeah, this was what led up to their match, wasn't it? At Survivor Series.
I think it was, actually. Yeah,
I think it was. A game brought up a rivalry.
For everybody out there that doesn't like Goldberg, you can blame WWE 2K17. So, depending on that information and now where this is going to fall in the list, in terms of the actual game itself and how this actually does play, this is one of the 2K ones that isn't special for me because it's just the career mode is dull. To put it mildly. Yeah, you just play through matches like nothing happens. You're not really in any control. You just play matches. Universe mode is there. The creation suite is. I'd say probably. I think the creation suite was a bit of an improvement from 2K16, but 2K16 was a good entry for 2K. So for this one following 2K16, it didn't quite stack up for me.
There's no showcase as well, which...
Yeah, no showcase. And the following year you had the Austin one. There just wasn't really much... Sorry, the year before. There wasn't really much to do in 2K17.
Not really.
There wasn't much to do. The emphasis was all on roster. You know, which is kind of like we're at the opposite end of the problems that plagued games in the past, which is that you don't have a big roster. But this one was all about let's throw everybody in. But like, yeah, that's all well and good having all of the names, but like, there's nothing to do with them. Just the same repetitive matches.
And once again, mixed reviews because you get stuff like EGM gave it 6 out of 10, but IGN gives it 8.2 out of 10. Metacritic, PC is 61, PS4 69, and Xbox One is 68. I think it's the last PS3 and Xbox 360 WWE game.
Wow, okay. I mean, you might have to be the voice of reason. I honestly, I'm feeling a bit mad. And I'm thinking I would put that in what?
Yeah, I say what.
Because if it wasn't for this, Goldberg wouldn't have beat The Fiend. Would he?
Well, should we say delete him then because of that?
No, I don't know. It feels a little bit harsh because it's not... Oh, I don't know. It's not a bad game, is it?
Was this the game with the trailer that was downtown? No, Suplex City.
It was a Suplex City one, yeah.
And yeah, they could have easily done something about that in the game, but they didn't do it.
That's true.
But what I think is the fair result.
We'll go for what? We're feeling hard now. We're feeling...
Yeah, we told Brock what.
Yeah, take that, Brock Lesnar. He's scared of us too, sat here.
Yeah.
What have we got coming up next?
Road to WrestleMania X8.
Yeah.
Do you call it X8 or 18?
Yeah. I don't know, actually.
Because I know people do.
I call it WrestleMania 18.
Because there's a debate about calling it X7 or 17 for 17.
I think you have to go by what the actual the number is. So it's 18. Otherwise, WrestleMania 30. If you do the Roman syllables for that one, then you're probably going to get some interesting Google results.
Well, yeah, WrestleMania Triple X and no Vin Diesel appeared.
Yeah, I mean Vin Diesel or
The Rock did,
or Shane Diesel.
Explain to the folks who Shane Diesel is.
I'll Google it, but just do no, don't. Well, if you want, I mean, I think it's just very I think it's very similar to Road to WrestleMania 19, and like I said, I mean that one was a fine enough game for the Game Boy, a portable console.
Did we take?
You could pass time in the car. You know what I mean? It's not one of those. I don't think you're playing these sort of games for the long story, are you?
Not really. Some negative things about it because you've got to get some negativity out of the way. Less wrestlers because the previous game had 24. This one had 15.
15, 16, wasn't it? Yeah.
Of the 15 wrestlers, because 15 wrestlers, only Kevin Nash did not appear at Mania 18 because you had Kurt Angle, Booker T, Edge, Christian.
Well, I mean, Nash did appear at Mania 18.
Appeared,
he just wasn't in a match. No. He was, technically, he was managing Scott Hall.
Managing, yeah.
Well, managers can be in games too.
The one thing I like is RVD's basically the front cover star.
Van Dam was a star though at this point. Like, I mean, I think everybody thought he was going to be the future. Everybody loved RVD.
Yeah,
everyone loved RVD. But yeah, I would be inclined to say that goes in glass ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at that glass ceiling list, it's weird because you could do tiers, I think, within the glass ceiling, but we can't. We can't get there. We can't do that.
I'm sure when we've completed every single game, we'll probably end up changing some of it.
Oh yeah, probably. And those that are going to be in the comments and are going to give us what for to tell us all the ones we've got wrong. What? There's a lot more than 4 in what. I reckon we're gonna really upset people here. I am.
What was the last game of the episode?
Yeah. This is our last one of the episode. This is the 30th entrant to the tier list Royal Rumble. Now,
Crush Hour. WWE Crush Hour.
WWE Crush Hour.
On GameCube and PS2.
GameCube, PS2. I think the cover that you're seeing might be the European version, because when you do look online, I see a different cover. But I'd imagine that was probably for America. But this probably won't be able to see this actually very clearly. But this is the cover that we have here. The game itself then is basically Destruction Derby, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Destruction Derby, and for those that probably haven't played that game, but in a nutshell, you play as a select number of, if we can get that to stay up, that's probably going to go. You play as a select number of WWE Superstars in their own custom vehicles, and the idea is that you battle in the arenas in those vehicles to blow each other up.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the game.
Was it like first to 10 or whatever?
Well, you could set the match rules to be kind of like however however long you wanted it, if you wanted a time limit. There is obviously a proper story mode, mode.
Vince McMahon controlling all the TV networks.
Yeah, so you see Kane starting his cooking channel.
I'd love to see that though. I personally would love to see that.
Do you know what? Should we cut to the chase?
If you want to.
Where would you put it?
I only played it briefly and I kind of enjoyed it.
People dislike this game.
It's mostly negative or
Can I
mixed.
be honest? The only reason, because I don't want people to think that I'm some sort of lunatic. So I will not put it in best of the world, because to be fair, it's not. It's not up there in the same level. But for the sheer enjoyment I had with this game, I'd honestly put it in B+ player. I have not got the heart to put this in the bottom tiers. I know that is going to upset so many people, but...
Well, like I said, I briefly played it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was because it was so stupid. It was fun. It was like...
I think that's the thing. It's not like... Say with Battlegrounds, you've got that gap between 2K20 and you're waiting for 2K22. Battlegrounds is there filling that kind of, I suppose, to fill the void.
Well,
Crush Hour wasn't filling a void. Crush Hour is, like we said about Mario Kart, it is a case that, Mario Kart had become a very successful franchise on its own. But the Crush Hour series, it was one game.
Yeah.
But for one game as a standalone game, I think it's enjoyable enough.
And this came between Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain.
Shut Your Mouth, yeah. So it's been sandwiched between two giants.
Because this came out May 2003, depending on where you were from. Almost came an Xbox game, but it just never happened.
That's a shame, but there's always been that tussle between Xbox and PlayStation, I suppose. But yeah, man, I don't know. I hear it. I know that you look at some of the things on there and you think Crush Hour is never above some of those games, but I think what we all need to remember is it's our tier list.
Yeah. So if I could put my middle finger up right now, I would.
Yeah. Well, did we just turn heel?
No,
Crush Hour's our heel turn.
Everyone who doesn't like it turned heel.
Yeah, it's not us, it's you. No, I think there are people out there that love Crush Hour. There's no doubt about it. Mm. We're two of them.
Would you call it a guild pleasure, or has that just been unfair to the game?
I pleasure myself playing it.
I think you're not needed anymore. I can just imagine, how downvotes have gone now.
Yeah.
No, they say...
There's the amount of dislikes we would have received on this.
I bet there might be some, hell yeah. Well, that's the best.
Absolutely. We're going to start the Crush Hour Appreciation Society.
And if we get 15,000 likes, we'll play it live on...
That's fine, yeah. To be honest, if we had 15,000 likes on this video, I would play it live for the rest of my life.
Maybe just 15 likes in for us.
But yeah, no, I'm happy with that. But it's a lot like we expected in Glass Ceiling, but it's pretty evenly matched, I think, between the B+ and What at the moment. We've had obviously Crush Hour's changed that, but
yeah, What and Best in the World have got the same amount so far, but that might change in the next episode.
I think it probably will. Anyway, on that note, we'll see you later.